Welcome to the Humanity Sells Podcast, where we talk about the marketing revolution that's happening in tech consulting and how the best businesses are elevating their brand, amplifying their message, and selling more by being more human. We're your hosts, Brandon Triola.
And I'm Nate Nitty. Let's get into
it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Humanity Sells Podcast. We've been talking about storytelling, and today we're going to actually make it actionable, which I think is a buzzword, but Nate thinks it's a normal word, which we're going to give you some takeaways, how to implement this whole thing called storytelling. I think I touched on it in a previous episode. I hate that everyone just throws out this word.
We tell stories now.
We tell stories.
We're a storyteller.
How's your story? What's your story? What's our story? We hear executive teams and boards that say this all the time. No one knows what our story is. I don't think you'd know what your story was if you knew what your story was, because I don't think anyone really knows how to define what storytelling is. So what we're going to do today is give you guys like a simple, actionable framework that we use. Now, when we do this for ourselves or for clients, we infuse this storytelling thing. It's kind of like the DNA of this whole idea of humanizing, right? People trust people. People buy from people. They don't buy from businesses. They don't buy from brands. They buy because of an emotional decision. How you get to that point is through storytelling. It is the glue. It should be the glue that your business strategy connects to. It should be the glue that keeps your brand strategy connected to your marketing strategy. It should be the glue that keeps what sales is hearing and telling to potential buyers connected to what the marketing team is saying. And then you should be hitting your goals and your revenue and your growth goals because you're telling a cohesive story. So here's how you do it. You want to get into it? Sure.
So we started with the 7-part story framework that was it was a narrative arc that was created by Aristotle thousands of years ago. More recently, some leaders in business have condensed it down to this very simple.
And I'll say too, it is a framework. It is not the only framework. There are lots of storytelling frameworks that we use and look at. This one is the most comprehensive for selling complex, expensive engagements, offerings, and products.
Yeah, you give them the 7 parts and then we'll drill down into the...
So if you guys heard my last episode, if you haven't heard it, I would suggest you guys go and listen to our last talk about storytelling and knowing your role in the story. It all comes down to knowing the role that you play. But what are all of the roles in the story? Yep. So there's really 7 pieces to telling a good story. And the first thing that a good story has is they have a hero. A hero, somebody that is dealing with something deep and internal, somebody that either wants something or has a villain that is trying to take them out or a pain that they're trying to overcome. Think of any great movies. Say a movie.
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid. Daniel-san. The perfect example of storytelling right there. Daniel-san is the hero of the story and he wants this girl, but he's just not sure if he has what it takes to fully get her attention. And then he's got, Johnny is like after him and against him, but he's really not that good at karate, but he kind of likes the idea of like being able to fight. And you can see he's in pain. He's living in a new area. He's moved to a new city. It's a perfect setup, right? This hero with a problem who wants something. That's the first thing that you have to have. But the second piece of the story, is, I believe, just as important. They're all important.
The most important. I would say the most important piece.
Defining the problem. Now, in the movie like Karate Kid, right? Like Daniel has like a couple problems. I just named some of them. But your hero has to have a problem. There's got to be something that is holding them back. There's got to be pain. And in marketing, the way that this shows up, or in branding, the way that this shows up, or it should show up, is in your messaging, or however you're like putting something into market. You should always lead with the problem.
Sorry. Dude, you lob me these softballs and I'm just like...
That's okay. Listen, everyone...
I didn't know they were coming.
This is our first podcast. So you should always start with the problem. This is important. This is important because this is like a psychological thing. So... movies. I love movies. Movie guy. In fact, I stay up late. My wife goes to bed. Bless her heart. I stay up and watch movies.
No, it's funny because you never text me back late, but that's fine.
Because I'm watching movies. But if you watch a good movie has something happen the same, always, like clockwork, within the first 13 seconds, they tell you the problem. They show you like an opening scene and you immediately, because they're doing something, they understand that to pull somebody into what you want to tell them, you have to start with a problem. We are wired as humans to want to see the end of the problem. We either want to see if it's going to work out and be a comedy, as they say in storytelling, a positive ending, happy ending, or if it's going to be a tragedy.
Yeah.
When you start with the problem that your customer is facing, they will immediately be pulled in to try to find out the end of the story.
So part one is
A hero. You need a hero. Part two is with a problem. Now, where this goes a little bit deeper for how you tell a human-centered story and a story that's effective, especially in B2B tech, especially in consulting and all these things, business, you have to have, there's 3 layers of this problem. You have to have an external pain. Oh, they're using spreadsheets for everything and they just can't, they just won't digitalize or whatever. Their processes are not automated. Their systems and processes are legacy and they're still using fax machines and external problem. But then you have to have the second layer, which is an internal problem. And that internal problem is what they're experiencing on a human level. Deep pain. They're afraid they might lose their job. The internal audit manager that we talked about on our last episode, internal audit managers, their internal pain was a little bit more identity based, how they are perceived at work.
Yeah.
So you have to find out what this is. And then the philosophical problem, like on a philosophical level, what are they really like? What is really happening to them? And being able to weave that into the story. So you got a hero who has an external, internal, and philosophical problem. Those are the first 2 parts of the framework. I'll say it again. The first part is the hero. Second part is the problem. The third part, this is what makes it a good story. Karate Kid, who shows up to help Daniel?
Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi. Daniel just sort of happens to go into this room at their apartment complex where the janitor works and finds out that this old Japanese guy is actually like a world-renowned, legendary, like karate freaking master.
Yeah.
And he helps Daniel not only overcome his inability to do karate well, he helps him overcome some internal things that he's dealing with as well.
Insecurity.
Yeah. He empathizes with him. And this is one of the most important pieces. You've got your hero with your pain who meets a guide that empathizes with them. I want you to unpack that a little bit from a business perspective because I think that word empathy is used a lot and we don't know what it means.
Yeah. We've talked about it a little bit in previous episodes, but it's really making the effort as a business, as a leadership team, as a board, as a department, to understand the internal battle that your target customer is facing. And then making changes in your domain that reflect your understanding of their pain.
Boom. Could not have said that better myself. I think also where the ball gets dropped, when I was talking about they don't understand this, a lot of times I think we confuse sympathy with empathy. And sympathy is if you were to stub your toe on the table right now, I'd be like, man, that looks like it hurts. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's sympathy. A lot of times in business, we think that showing that we have sympathy for our target customer is empathy. It's not the same. Empathy would be if you stub your toe on that table and I actually think about a time when I stubbed my toe and stop and let you know that looks like it hurts. I actually know that hurts because I stubbed my table once and I am now feeling the pain that you felt.
Like, hey, working in spreadsheets is hard. You should automate.
Yeah.
Sympathy. Hey, I used to work in spreadsheets all the time, and guess what? I saved 50 hours a month by automating my processes. Empathy.
Or I remember it used to take us at least a quarter just to get this kind of document and this kind of data into a place and centralized where people could read it. And that cost so much money, and our business struggled because of it.
One layer deeper, emotional empathy. I remember it used to take us 50 hours a month to do this. You know what sucked? I used to have to stay up late. I missed time with my family.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an emotional empathy. Now you're selling, hey.
Yeah. I didn't see my son's first home run because I was manually inputting data.
Yeah. It feels like a stretch.
Whoa. But that's real. So that's empathy and storytelling. And so you've got a hero who has a pain or a problem, who meets a guide that empathizes with their pain. This is so important. The next part, the fourth part in the storytelling framework, is a good story. That guide always has to give them a plan.
Here's what you got to do to be successful. This is why Mr. Miyagi is so key.
Yeah.
He's been there. He empathizes, and he said, hey, I can actually teach you and show you how to go from where you are now to where you want to be.
Yeah. This is the part in the storytelling framework where a lot of times the plan that you give your target audience to overcome their pain should be closely related to the rest of your positioning. It should be closely related to your promise statement or your tagline. So I think that's really important. So you have to give them a plan. a good story has a really good guide who empathizes with your pain, and he gives you a plan to overcome it. And that plan could be a lot of things, but it's always tied back to the rest of your positioning when it comes to marketing and doing this for your business.
And I would say the plan comes from a place of authority.
Yep.
It has to come from a place of authority. If it comes from a place of inexperience or guessing, people will see right through it. It's kind of like if you hired a contractor at your house and like you said, you know, I need this fence built, and they're like, yeah, I can figure that out.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a position of authority.
Yeah.
In fact, you had a fence built at your house.
Oh my gosh.
That was terrible. We don't have to get into that. He bought a fence and the fence fell down. That's a story.
Maybe we'll get it if we get into like customer service. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, when you position yourself as a guide to help a customer, you have to approach it from an empathetic place of authority, not an authoritarian place. An empathetic place of authority.
And the order is important.
And I know how to get you to where you're going.
Yes. Empathy and then competence, right? Like we talked about earlier. People are judging all the time. Like they're weighing how are you making me feel as a brand?
Yeah.
Are you warm and approachable? And then are you competent? So the guide in the story always has to have empathy, but then always has to have the expertise or the experience to give them the right plan.
Yeah.
Here's a plan. I know it's going to work because we've done this elsewhere. This plan has worked with other people. Human-centered, this whole idea of humanity sells. This is our plan. Like, you got to humanize. Here's why. We've done it. We know it's working. It's growing businesses. That's why we're doing this podcast, because we want as many people to learn and figure this out as possible.
Yeah.
So let's back it up. Again, let's go through them. I want everyone to memorize these.
Step 1.
Hero. Got a problem. Meets a guy who empathizes with their pain. Gives them a plan. And then the next piece, a call to action. The call to action is really important. This is, I would say, vastly more important in marketing than it even is in movies. I think in media, in books, in novels, you can get away with not having a clear call to action, but you need to give people something to do if you're inviting them into a story.
I think that a lot of people confuse call to action with make the sale.
Ooh, that's good.
These are two different topics, two different understandings.
Yeah.
Calls to action are when you, as a guide with authority on how to go from here to here, challenge your hero to take the next step in going from here to here.
Yeah.
Hey, I know what you need to do. Do this next.
Yeah.
Not it. What a lot of companies get wrong, they think a call to action is, hey, I understand your pain. I can help you. Book a demo.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how I can help you. Learn more.
Learn more is not a call to action.
These are not calls to action. We're talking about like capital C, call to action, the big concept.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the thing you put on a button on a website to get people to take a step. But more importantly, when you're looking at how to help your hero on their journey to overcoming their pain, calling them to action is what are you doing to inspire them to take a next step in their journey? Might not even be with you.
Yeah, that's so good, man. It's true. Got to have the call to action. And then the last two pieces are really important. So you either you have to paint the picture of what life is going to be like when they take that step, when they listen to your plan, and when they take that action. How will their life change? How will their life be better? This is marketing 101, right? Yeah. You see it. Marketing, the best marketing uses storytelling. So being able to paint a picture for your personas that you're selling to or inviting into the story, I guess I should say, how will their life change once they overcome this?
Will it be better because I have features that I didn't have before? No. Will it be better because I have benefits from those features? No. Show them exactly how their life from an internal standpoint will get better.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
How will they feel?
You will feel more confident approaching your leadership team with your data because of the solution we provide.
Yeah.
Speak to that internal desire that what you know about that role and what they want to be accomplishing in their role. Hey, your world will look like this when you're working with us. Not, hey, you'll have these features you didn't have before. No. You'll get time back in your day. You will sleep better. You will feel more confident at work. You will get promoted. Whatever it is, paint the picture for them.
One thing that we've learned in digital transformation and working with lots of people across different industries and verticals within digital transformation is a lot of times when you paint the picture of what's at stake. So this is the last part. in the storytelling framework, when you paint a picture of what's at stake, like what's on the line, what's it going to cost them to not do this?
Yeah.
That actually moves the needle quite a bit in terms of engagement, in terms of developing and building trust, in terms of getting people to actually take action, showing them like, here's what your life's going to look like if you choose to not change. And technology consultants understand this because they know what's on the line for your customers if they don't digitalize. Like you can paint the picture for them really well. And a lot of times we don't see them doing that. So when you can kind of understand this and realize the power in saying, here's what's on the line. If you don't do this and being able to show them, you can stay the same and stay stuck in your pain, or you can experience this transformation. Now you've completed all 7 parts of the story framework. So you have a hero who has a pain, a 3-level pain, internal, external, and philosophical, who meets a guide, who empathizes with them, who gives them a plan, who calls them to action, who paints a picture of the transformation they're about to experience if they take that action, or the tragedy that's going to result in.
So real quick, I'm gonna give you just a mock example of a real digital transformation company and how this looks when you play it out, just so that you can make it real practical for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that you sell ServiceNow. You're a ServiceNow partner.
An elite ServiceNow partner.
You look at your customer base, and let's say you sell asset management. That's like your thing. Or
can we do SAM?
Software asset management. That's one thing that you do.
I like
right?
SAM.
So who is the hero in the story? You look at that, you say, okay, asset managers, directors of IT, CISOs, CTOs, whatever. You find a hero or multiple heroes, right? What are their problems? Then you identify let's just pick the asset manager. What is the asset manager's problem day to day? Week to week,
external
month
level.
External level.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they have these software issues. They're trying to true up their licenses. You know, they're overspending.
People keep losing laptops.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the asset manager because they always come around to like take inventory and take names.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
yeah.
So they have external problems. Oh, they also have internal problems. Maybe people don't like them because they're always like, hey, did you do your license? Hey, did you register that? Hey, did you? So maybe they're a little bit insecure in their role. Maybe they don't have the authority that they need to do their job, but they're held to an accountability standard that is higher than what they have the ability to implement.
They're always reprimanding people, and
Yes.
therefore it's like a negative. People will have like a negative view of them when the asset manager shows up.
Exactly. So maybe they're battling a little bit of insecurity internally. Not saying this is not a blanket statement on asset managers. This is just for our scenario purposes. And then philosophically, maybe they believe the world should look a certain way because of the impact of their job.
Yeah.
Maybe the world should be streamlined, de-risked, whatever it is. So they have a philosophical belief about the world that you understand, that you are codifying. So you have identified a hero, asset manager. You're looking at their pains on an external, internal, and philosophical level. And then you say, we are the guide. ServiceNow company, we are the guide. So what does that mean? Well, how can we empathetically go to the asset manager and say, we have been in your shoes, we understand, and how can we demonstrate from a market touch point level? How can we show, not tell, that we understand them? This looks like on your landing page for asset management, talking about not just saying, we've been in your shoes. Everybody says we've been in your shoes. Showing it.
Not everybody, but I see what your point
Show it specifically by saying, just talk about the environment that they're in. Talk about it as if you've been there and as if you've known it. So show up empathetically as the guide. We are here to help you go from here to here. So then give them a plan. It's very simple. Look at their internal pain, and based on your empathy and your experience with them, give them a 3-step plan. By and large, top level, 3 steps that they can begin to take to get to where they need to go. Hey, do this, do this, do this. And
what this does is this shows them that you have the competence to help them.
Yes.
So we're past the empathy piece. This shows them that you actually know what it takes. You have the experience and the expertise to get them closer to their goal.
And then call them to action in some way. Whether it is, hey, we have this free resource for you to...
Let's say it's on a webinar. Let's say this is showing up on a webinar.
Yeah, so if you're talking at the end of a webinar and you want to call them to action, most people get this wrong by saying, hey, email me. I'd love to talk to you more about how we can help you. They immediately flip the roles back and, hey, I'm the hero. No. At the end of a webinar or something like this, you just want to give them the next step in a larger plan that is helping them along. Here's how I would call them to action at the end of a webinar. We've helped a lot of companies go from here to here, If you want to learn more about this, we have a free resource that we're giving out that will show you how to think about your journey. Here's some steps that you can take, even in your search for a partner. This is free. We don't even need an email. Just go take the next step. Boom. It's just something you can learn. And then, empathetically, in the narrative framework, after you call them to action, you paint the picture of their life. Show them through your materials, through your communications, through your story that's permeating this part of your business. Show them how you can help their life look like they want it to look. Show them how you can alleviate their pain.
Yep.
Hey, working with us, we have helped others, and we can help you insert alleviation of very specific pain.
I'll give a gold nugget right now for anybody watching this. This 7-part storytelling framework is the ultimate flow for writing copy for offering landing pages. If you have an offering you're looking to go to market with, and you're not sure what the website or what the page should look like or say, start with the storytelling framework. Tell the whole story, top to bottom, call to action, boom.
Yeah. So, and then the last one, or what might not happen. Now, you don't want to freak people out and be like, if you don't hire us, your business is going to die. You're going to lose everything. That's not it.
They're going to hate you even more.
But there is a worsening of the pain if they don't fix the right solution or find the right solution and fix it. So there's 7 parts, very applicable to digital transformation. And 2 things. Here's why this is revolutionary. B2C has been doing this for 10 to 15 years. This B2B and B2B tech is just behind.
Yeah.
So this is actually a differentiation strategy for companies that start doing this now.
Yep.
In your tech, in your vertical, in your industry, you can immediately differentiate today, right now, by just going from the hero to the
Go and look at
guy.
what your competitors are doing, and you're going to find that all they're doing is talking about themselves, how big they are, and the benefits and features of what they do.
Look them up right now.
If you want a simple differentiation strategy, the human way to differentiate is to tell story. Yeah. Tell a story and invite your personas into that.
The last thing I wanted to say is get the book Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
We said that on the last episode too. We'll probably beat that drum a couple times.
This framework, although it is pretty ubiquitous, he brought it into this business world and contextualized it. We have our own modification of this that we do for B2B tech, but by and large, the thinking, we got to give credit where it's due. Thinking came from him, and in this, we kind of modified it, but it's important that you understand, I don't even know. It's just a good book.
Yeah.
And it will launch you into how to contextualize this into your business and how to contextualize this into your industry.
Get a copy of it for yourself and for your marketing leader. Whoever your marketing leader is at your business, they need to read this. And then what we're going to do also is we're going to put a link in the notes to this show to a free guide for building out persona stories for like 3 personas. There'll probably be 3 or 4 blank templates in there that you can fill in on your own about how to tell the story to these different personas. It'll be a fill in the blank thing. It's a simple framework. Check it out, download it. Let us know what you think.
For those of you that are really paying attention, those are calls to action.
Go download the thing. And we'll see you next time. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this. If you know anyone in digital transformation or B2B tech consulting of any kind, we are on a mission to help 1,000 digital transformation leaders elevate their brand, amplify their message, and sell more tech offerings faster by humanizing. We need you to help us do that. Thanks.